Hey, welcome back. Very excited to have you back with me today. We got a great topic today. We are going to talk about just how to minimize the overwhelm when you are cutting your expenses. I know it can be a lot to figure out how to cut everything, what everything should be that you cut, and what not to cut, how much to cut each area. It can feel really overwhelmed thinking you have to track every single penny and every single cost savings and have an envelope for every single category with cash. I know that's a popular system, but can also feel very overwhelming to do. So we're just going to talk today about how you can reduce that overwhelm. We're going to make it easy for you today to start cutting your expenses. All right. So if you have not yet categorized your expenses from the last full month, go back right now, stop this one and go back to episode 3. And I want you to take that step first. Okay. That is the first crucial step for you. So you have all of your expenses from your last full month, which in this case would be August. You know which categories you have spent your money in and you have those totals. So you know how much you have spent within each category as a whole. Typically, the top 3 expenditures for a family every single month, top 3 are going to be your housing. So rent or mortgage expenses related to that. If you have an HOA, that can be included in there, homeowners insurance. And then food. So food, that's groceries, that is dining out, whether it's for dinner, lunch, coffee, breakfast, doesn't matter. And then the third top category, typically for the highest expenditure for a family, is transportation. Transportation is going to cover car insurance, your gas, parking if you have to pay parking, or public transportation. So housing, food, and transportation are typically the top 3 costs every month for a family. I want you to identify one of your top categories that you spent in August doing the work in episode 3. For now, look at something where you feel like you have a little bit more control. Food is a great category, especially because we are going to be talking about some easy cost savings at the grocery store in our next episode. Subscribe now so you don't miss that one when it comes out. So that could be a great category if that was one of your top areas where you spent the most money in August, and I would imagine it probably is if you are like most other families. Look through and find that one that you want to start with and you feel like you are ready to dive in and have some control over that category. You have your category, right? Drop it down in the comments. Write a comment if you have chosen your category and which category you are going to be working on for the work in this episode. And I promise it's easy. It's quick. Now I want you to drill down and look at each individual expense that fell in only that category. We're going to go with food for our illustration for the video. And what you're doing is you're going to look for some common themes that come up for you. Maybe one that stands out is that your husband swings by on his way home or during his workday and grabs a soda. Maybe you like to go to the coffee shop as you are taking the kids to school, or you're on your way home from dropping them off. Maybe they are begging you to swing by a drive-through after school on the way home. Dinner at a restaurant because you are just exhausted. You're both exhausted from the day. So look for the common themes. Where do you tend to spend a lot? If it's with the grocery store, is it impulse buys when you are in the grocery store shopping? Is it the add-ons that your kids ask for if you take them grocery shopping with you? Take a look and see what common themes come up for you as you're looking through those expenses of that category. Can you identify anything immediately that stands out as something unnecessary or easily avoidable? You could put some simple plan in place, the drive-through on the way home from school. Maybe a tip would be just taking some pre-bagged snacks, and when you're picking up the kids from school and they are hungry and they're asking for the drive-through, you hand them the snack, the bag of pretzels or whatever the snack is, and that's what they eat on the way home. You're looking for something that can be easily avoidable, something that may be unnecessary, that you could do something very simple, quick, and easy that you would be willing to commit to that would help prevent that expense from reoccurring over and over And that's a lot of savings. Another thing you can look at is, are there any areas that you expend within that same category each month where you and your husband don't agree? So maybe it's something you don't want to cut out and he thinks you should, or he doesn't want to cut it out and you think he should. Maybe he grabs lunch out every single day. I know my husband used to do that. It was quick and easy. He used to do flooring installation, and he and the guys would run down to the taco truck that was usually parked on the corner, and it was super easy and it was fun. So it was something he did quite regularly that we had been able to identify. Well, we were able to compromise on that at first because he didn't want to have to give that up every single day when it was something that he was used to. It was a habit. It was something he enjoyed. He liked the food. It was easy, right? Didn't take any preparation on his part, and he got to socialize with his buddies. It was an area where we could compromise, and he started taking a lunch just every other day. And so every other day at first, he was able to still go get his lunch with the buddies at whatever food truck was nearby. And on the other days, he took lunch. That was a compromise area for us. And so I suggest anything like that where you're disagreeing, see if there's just a halfway point where you can both give a little and just try it out. Now, I also want you to set a goal for only this category. So the one that you've identified, and in our case, it's food that we're using as an example. Set a goal, either a dollar amount that you want to reduce your expenditures by, or a percentage of the amount. So a dollar amount works great because you already have that total. You know how much you spent, and you can look at what specifically the changes that you have now agreed to make for the month in that category, and kind of do an estimate of how much you think you would be saving, and just set a new goal. So whatever you feel is attainable, make it realistic, not going too strict of a reduction right now, because it needs to be something where you both get that win. You feel like it is a challenge. It is something you have to be conscious about and make those decisions, not so much that it feels like a huge burden. So you have your new goal in mind. And again, this is just for this category. Break it down into a weekly amount. Make it a lot easier to track. And what's great about it is you can start now. You don't feel like you have to start on a brand new month. Whatever today is that you're watching this, start tomorrow. Start on Monday, whatever feels like the soonest time you are willing to start. You have the weekly goal amount, but also you know the date that you're starting. Start tracking for that 1 week each time you spent money in that category. And this will also help you see how realistic your goal is, right? So maybe your goal is too strict. Maybe it's too lenient and you are having no trouble at all. It will help you to adjust your goal for the very next week. And another tip is, as you are spending in this category in the week, pay attention to the reasons behind why you are spending right now. So each time you go to spend, look at the situation, look at the circumstances around what is causing you to spend that money. You forgot to pack a snack for your kids on the way home, and maybe you have to go somewhere before you can go home and they can't wait that long, and so you're hitting the drive-thru again. Maybe you are making the choice to buy dinner out because you're both exhausted. It was a long day and there was no prepping the day before or reminder to take, the meat out to thaw, something like that. Just make any adjustments. That's a great education for you. It's just to see what is tripping you up, what is causing you to make a decision. If you are happy with the decision, there's nothing to do. Great, that's what we want. I want you to get into those decisions that are the ones that matter to you, that bring you joy, that bring value to your family. This is about just getting your family on track, improving your financial future, improving every week and month your financial situation, little by little, easy baby steps, making positive changes. The reasons we spend money can be positive and can be negative. And so we are just looking to identify those negative areas and removing those so that we are being intentional with every dollar we spend, which is true freedom. It's going to give you so much peace for your family. Okay, now at the end of the week, look and see, did you hit your goal, right? Did you reach your goal? If not, what can you adjust? What did you identify? What you can do to change the outcome for next week? And maybe you need to readjust your goal. So make those decisions about your goal, set the goal for next week, and try again, right? And continue to implement these tips so that you get to the goal amount that you feel is the right number for your family. And if you did hit the goal, congratulations, that is amazing. You come in way under, let's adjust your goal some more. That's great that you have more wiggle room. You can adjust your goal further and then challenge yourselves to see if you can do even better. If you were just barely hitting your goal, that is still amazing. Celebrate that. And now see what would be a quick, easy win to be able to beat the goal by more this time. So it's just kind of it's a fun way to make it a game and something that you can do to just as a challenge. If you're somebody that likes competition or challenge with yourself, this is a great way to do it. Okay, drop any questions that you have for me in the comments. I love to come back and make sure that I'm helping you out. I'm here to support you. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We're going to talk about some easy ways that you can reduce your costs at the grocery store. So some easy tips that can help you kind of reduce how much you're spending at the store each time on groceries. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Blessings to your family, and please like or share this with anyone that you feel this could benefit. Take care.